London. Joining me now for more on this topic is Rob Harris. He's an international sports reporter with the Associated Press, joining me from London. Rob, good to have you on the program. This is sort of a fascinating development in terms of putting even further pressure on Russia from a sporting perspective. What can you tell us?
Yeah, the UEFA leadership, they run European football, had come under pressure from various governments to take the Champions League final off Russia. They saw it as a prestigious event, and they realised that this is a time when Russia should not be hosting those events because in many ways it can legitimise the regime at a time that they've invaded a neighbour. So top-level talks were taking place with the European football leadership and particularly the French government. And after talks involving Emmanuel Macron, the Champions League final, the biggest game in the European men's season, has been taken away from St. Petersburg and will be staged in Paris instead, still in late May, but a significant change to take the final off Russia, something that they would have seen as one of the big events of the year in the country. It's a decision being protested by the Russian member of the UEFA Executive Committee, which made that decision today.
Yeah, interesting. And to see perhaps public reaction and fallout from that. Already there's been, a lot of protest in Russia, which is almost unheard of in terms of what's happening in Ukraine. People are being arrested for speaking out. So wondering, how this will impact that. We saw one Russian tennis star just a short time ago, Rob. His name is Andrei Rublev. He just won, I think, or is going to the final in a Dubai match. And he wrote "No war, please" on a camera lens after one of his matches. I can't imagine that's going to go over well in Moscow. These athletes are taking a risk.
Yeah, the fact they are taking a stand against Vladimir Putin, against the regime, protesting against this invasion of Ukraine. And on the Ukrainian side, we're seeing Ukrainian athletes speak out in defense of their country. A player with Manchester City, Zinchenko, calling for the preservation and protection of the Ukrainian borders. And this is when it really crosses over in the sports sphere and being a significant factor in terms of the public reaction to what is a significant security event.
Right. What about oligarchs who have financial interest in big money sports teams?
Well, we have Roman Abramovich, who owns Chelsea here in London, a Russian billionaire. He actually has not had a UK visa for a few years. He didn't seek a renewal of that, and that came in the wake of the government targeting Russians after the poisoning of a former Russian spy in the English city of Salisbury. He's not tried to reapply for the visa that expired, but at the moment, the sanctions that have been introduced have not targeted the likes of Abramovich. He has been able to come back into the country using his Israeli passport, but we have seen an impact of those sanctions from Boris Johnson's government already impacting sport, with Aeroflot, the Russian state carrier, being targeted, and that's led to Manchester United dropping their sponsorship by Aeroflot. So a financial consequence for Manchester United, taking a stand today as something that we're coming under pressure from. We're also seeing Gazprom, the state-owned energy giant. They sponsor the Champions League, and they still do. So UEFA are trying to find a way out of that contract, because even this week at Champions League games, as Russia was getting even more aggressive towards Ukraine and the invasion was looming, we had Champions League matches being played with Gazprom advertising around the side of their pitches. We have seen the German football club Schalke drop Gazprom from their shirts. They were a sponsor, but they still do remain a backer at this point of the club.
Fascinating stuff. I really appreciate your insight. Rob Harris, an international sports reporter with the Associated Press from London. Thank you.
Good to join you.
You too.